I want to talk about this comment for a second because, yes, for some women, they do think it is easier to do everything by themselves after a divorce than it is to do it with their partner who's not
Cope.
carrying their fair share. And I know that's surprising to a lot of people, but here's the facts. The data shows that when women marry men,
Which data is it? I want to see the data. I don't trust her data. I'm sorry. She just looks like she's scamming y'all.
this is before kids, they do 2.3 times as much housework as their male counterparts do.
So do they calculate if who does the shoveling, who does the mowing of the lawn, who moves these heavy boxes? There is male domestic work, you know that, right? Who does that? The woman too? Bunch of liars.
They do more housework than their single female counterparts. Simply by marrying men, women's workload increases. And again, most of these women are working. And so regardless of whether or not you have children, women do more work simply because they are married to men. And when kids come along, obviously the inequities grow. Women tend to do much more housework and domestic labor than men do. They do more childcare than men do. They have less time for leisure and for fitness and for all of those things. And there is data to show that single mothers.
So do women generally ever ask for help? Or you just basically do work, and while you're doing the work, you're just mad at the man because you're doing work? You're raising your kids, you're cleaning the house, you're making food. Is this all bad work for you? Are you just angry anytime you have to cook dinner? Angry anytime you sweep or anything like that? Why is it that? Why is it that anything you do is the end of the world? It's so annoying.
Actually have more time for leisure. They get more sleep and they do less housework than married mothers. And that is not because of the kids, right? Because the kids are there regardless. Being married to men creates more work for women.
Stop the cap.
And
creates more work for men. Like what? You're putting away a couple extra socks? You're making an extra meal or two? Like, what exactly is the work that you guys are always complaining about? Just complainers. Just like every little thing, any little thing that she has to do for a man is the end of the world. Domestic labor. I can't believe I have to do anything. My God, sorry, sack of lazy people, man.
so yeah, a lot of women are choosing to get divorced because they would rather be a single mother than a married single mother.
You hear that? Because it's easier. How is it easier to take care of kids alone when you have an actual helping partner? Okay, I'm talking about a helping partner. We're not talking about this mysterious man that always lays on the couch, will never help you lay a finger, will never help you with anything. Well, that's on you if you chose a bad man like that. Because a good man that actually loves you and cares for you will help you out if you say so. If he thinks that you have everything under control, he's not gonna worry about helping you because he thinks that you're okay, you're doing your job, you're not complaining, so he's just living his life. But if you were just letting him sit on the couch while you resent him and never ask for help, that's all on you. That's not his fault. That's your fault as a woman for trying to create this stress in your head when you can just communicate.
They would rather be on their own doing it than be in a relationship that feels incredibly unfair. And I know that's shocking to a lot of men, but
unfair. I just wonder, are these men providing? Are they working 9 to 5 and then the women are just still complaining? Or are these women going 50-50 and the men are not doing anything? Because if you're going 50-50 and the men are not helping you at all, I can understand your argument. But this argument is a very one-sided argument right now because it's only coming from their side. And you know how women depict things. They exaggerate and they only make themselves look good in a scenario like this. So I would love to hear what the men have to say about this. The lazy husbands, as they say.
men's housework and work in general does not increase exponentially when they get married and or have children, but for women, it does. I want to talk about this comment for a second because
oh man, always trying to compare our work. Okay, like that's the feminist mindset. Men and women are equal. We should be doing the same stuff. But like, we're not. You're mom, I'm dad. Okay, if you need help with cleaning, just say so. It is not that big of a deal. If a man lived by himself, He's going to have to cook. He's going to have to clean. He's going to have to do stuff. So just ask for help, okay? It's not that hard. Unless you chose a loser, okay? That's it. Let's take a look at the comments. As a divorced woman with shared custody, I now have 50% more time to do what? To be a cat lady. To do what? To complain? Like, what exactly are you doing? Are you still single? Are you remarried? What are you? Let's continue. I did everything on my own anyways. Only difference now is I'm not absolutely furious about it. Okay. Well, did you ask for help? We will never know. I am divorced for 7 years and I'm living alone since then. Life is way more easier, happier, more peaceful without my ex-husband or any other man. There is nothing I can't do alone. Honestly, that just sounds like hope to me. That doesn't even, I can't, I don't know if I truly don't believe it. You know what I mean? It's just 7 years, nobody, just by yourself. This is solitary confinement we're talking about here. This doesn't sound like paradise. So you aspire to be alone because you can't commingle with a man and you're proud of that. That sounds pretty loser-like. Okay? If a man was speaking like this, you would call him a loser. So, sorry, ma'am, you're a loser. Nothing is more frustrating than watching someone else sit on the couch when you were cleaning the house. See what I'm saying? Did you even ask for help? Like, they're just bitter. They just want to create something that gets them upset so they can have some reason to break up the family, ultimately. You want to break up the family because he's on the couch and you're vacuuming. Like, do you not see the psychosis in that whole situation? It's the foundation is built on nothing. On to the next.
My life is going to shit and I only got $25 to my name. Please guess what I'm going to spend that $25 on. Nugget, please tell them what I'm going to go spend my $25 on. My life is going to shit.
Bro, this has to be satire. This is not real. She's just playing around. But her eyes do look like she's been crying, and she says her life is going down the toilet because there's only $25 left to her name. And she pulls out the wig, the blonde and brown wig. Okay, I don't know what you're trying to convey with this message. It's got to be a joke, you know what I mean? Like, what exactly is that $25 of wig money going to do for you exactly at this point? What exactly would it do for you? It's got to be satire. This can't be real. So let's just take a look at the comments to see what's really going on. 3.5 will do it every time. 350 will do it every time. I'm gonna lose. You need $5 for the wood, Sits. So she needs $5 for the backwoods. Yeah, the backwoods. That's okay. So the $25 is for the hair, and then you need another $5 for the blunt. For the blunt, yeah. Oh yeah, same. Because I need to vibe right now. What does that mean? How does a $25 wig vibe you? How do you vibe off a $25 wig? I just wonder. Ho, is you me? Jesus, the level of ratchet sympathizers are out there. There is a sympathy for every ailment out there. You have some kind of victimhood. Somebody is gonna sympathize with your ass. I'm telling you, man. So she's down to her last 25 and she wants to buy a wig. And look at the supporters. Look at the sympathizers. This is crazy. A wig. You got Cash App? I get paid tomorrow. I've been there, sis. Can't do much because this is my rent check. But I can do a little something if you need a little help. I'm just being dramatic. I'm okay. Thank you so much. And please continue extending your kindness. I think she was actually serious about this. Because she's being dramatic. So you're down to the last $25 and you're thinking about wig? What's it going to do for you? Like, are you supposed to double that money? But 25 is gonna be $50 worth of wigs soon? What is that gonna do? You have rent due? You have kids? Man, we can only know at this point. We can only know. On to the next.
But then they'll tell y'all, men love women unconditionally. Men don't have conditions on their love for women. But the moment
I've never heard that. We all have conditions, man or woman. You know, men, conditions are usually if you cheat, if you disrespect, they leave. You know, yeah, we all have conditions. I've never really heard this talking point anywhere from the Red Pill community or any other podcast that men don't have conditions. We do definitely have conditions.
you get sick, the moment you can't perform the girlfriend or wife duties, the moment they can't extract labor from you anymore, they dip. Why? Because these males do not love women unconditionally. That's a huge lie.
And I would have to say that these women do not love men unconditionally also. If you've seen my previous videos, women will leave men because the socks are laying around, the dishes weren't dealt with, you know, small things. So where's the unconditional love from women?
Why y'all have been sold. They're very conditional and very transactional. Did y'all know it's actually a statistical fact that they're 6 to 7 times more likely to leave you if you're diagnosed with a serious illness like cancer?
Technically, she's right, but she's leaving out certain details. For instance, I was reading the Guardian article, and it states that yes, men do leave their wives 7 times more than their counterparts when their spouse gets ill. That is correct, but it's only 7% of men that do that compared to 1% of women that will leave their spouse during illness. So she's right about we do it at a higher rate, but it's only 7% of the men. It's a small minority of bad men that are leaving their wife while they're ill. So it's not a fair argument.
This is the statistic playing out in real time. So when they tell y'all things like, oh, women don't love men unconditionally, he has to have money and he has to be 6'4" with abs, and I want a woman who's going to stay with me when I'm broken. Don't fall for the BS. Don't fall for the guilt tripping and the shaming. Don't feel bad for leaving if things get rough. Leave them, because they will leave you if and when the roles are reversed. And it's not only if you get sick. It could also be if they met you looking a certain way, and let's say you gain weight or your looks aren't the same anymore.
So I'm supposed to stay with an obese woman when we started off the relationship and she was looking great. I'm supposed to stay with a girl that's just totally letting it all hang out. I'm sorry. We have conditions, okay? We're not gonna just turn sloppy and expect you to stay. That's just not realistic.
Or you get to a certain age, how many times have we heard them getting online to tell women 30 plus that they're expired and used up? Does that sound like unconditional love for women? They want you to be with them when they're at their lowest, but they will drop you quick, fast, and in a hurry when you're at yours. Remember that, because they're quick to.
As I said, she's just stating facts that really were manipulated in a feminist way for her to have an advantage in an argument. It's nothing more than that.
Ask you if you would stay with them when they're broke, but would they stay with you if you're sick though?
Okay, well, from this picture I see here on this thumbnail of this video, I see that she's a young woman going through a lot of pain at the moment. My condolences for her, and I hope she pulls through. But this is not the scenario that the woman was talking about, really. We're talking about old people taking care of each other, married people, couples. I'm pretty sure they were in a young love scenario, you know? And a young man is not bankable for you to a young man is not capable of taking care of all this. His patience, his maturity, he has a future too. So I can see why he might be too afraid to stick around and deal with the situation. Okay? It's understandable. I'm not saying it's correct. I'm just saying it's understandable. And also, it's a major factor for men, especially young men. We are super horny. Okay, so when you're going through this cancer and you're bald-headed and certain things like that, I'm sorry, the dick might not work. Okay, this is a factor. Okay, we're too young to be in a celibate relationship. Okay, so he most likely broke it off for her good because he's not capable of taking care of a situation like this. He's still a young man. Okay, all right, let's take a look at the comments. Only unconditional love in this world is the one a parent has for a child. Period. No, that's the honest truth. That's the only unconditional love that you will ever receive or you will ever give somebody else. Your child. Okay? Everything else, there's conditions. Unconditional love just doesn't exist to me. Everybody wants something. Very true. XYs are users. That's why they're defensive about getting used. It's all projection. Well, a little misandry. She hates men, clearly. He said XYs are users. So women don't use men? You ever heard of Anna Nicole Smith and her 93-year-old husband? And she was about like 22, 25 or so? Yeah. Women use men just as much as men use women. It's pretty equal. When they get famous and immediately drop their girlfriend or wife. I don't know about that, to be honest with you. I off the top of my head, I don't remember too many situations like that, to be honest with you. And usually in a scenario like that, you're better off keeping your wife because she came up with you. It's so difficult. It would be so difficult to date a woman after stardom, because how could you really tell if she's in it for you, the money, the clout, the fame? It's a hurdle that you face when you're at that level. Every woman looks at you as a prize or a target or whatever it is, come up, whatever, right? So you're better off keeping the day one with you. So I'd have to disagree with this comment. All right, on to the next.
Manifest my own destiny. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, the perfect recipe. May they remember me, my words will live on. I'm guided by an energy, a flame, hold it close to you. Check out my melodies. It's the media that's been leading you, I'll show you a thing. Misdirection, what's the message? They don't want you to win.